Yes, my good people, I greet you all. It don't happen again, oh. I don't come again. Come again, all the killers. Now progress with this and the progress. Yeah, now. Yes, some Christian religious leaders don't bust out. They say court must sit before on the 29th of May next month. They say why? Because if not be so, they don't agree at all. Now one of them can come out. He said the reason why they try to remove Labour Party chairman, now he say they want to remove that one and put another one because that one will enter. He will come go withdraw the case when Labour Party sue against INEC and Tinubu. Not be me talking, now they talking. Before I leave and now make una see the package when they talking. Make una not forget say we have national actor on this platform. Naibila Badrum Brunaba. Don't forget to follow us on this page, like it and comment so that other people will see it, share it, watch it now. Not all.
Where we taught them the judiciary. They don't swear in a president, they sweep into action, they handle all the cases before the swearing in date. So why are we delaying in Nigeria? Are we delaying because we want to collect the allowances? Are we delaying because corruption have eaten everything? There is nothing difficult about this case. In less than 30 days, we can dispense of every case. Election will finish in February. Swearing in will be the end of May. And yet, the cases have not been scratched. What a nation. So for me, what is not in the Nigerian constitution is not in the Nigerian constitution. I know Nigeria is a wonderful country. The doctrine of necessity, they call it. How necessary is that doctrine of necessity?
Democracy, we all know, is a process. And elections are only a part of the process, which requires the participation of all citizens at various stages and levels. With the election process now almost over, the attention of all citizens should now be turned to the elected to provide the promised dividends of democracy through good governance, which gives all citizens a sense of belonging regardless of party affiliation, mindful of the fact that whoever wins a certain constituency becomes the leader of all in that constituency. Ideally, partisanship for the elected should end with swearing-in ceremony, which also should mark the beginning of the provision of the dividends of democracy through good governance.
But what you see today is the tension. Tension is extremely high. And most people are sure there will be no justice in the tribunals. So they see a kind of gang up by some people who want to destroy our mentality of let us say who will govern us. The new game in town is go to court, get an expert order, sack the chairman, withdraw the petition. It's not entirely new. In 2003, Buhari, as the presidential candidate of ANPP, his party, ANPP, withdrew from a petition and left the man alone. So today, 2023, 20 years after, history is repeating itself. One of those who attempted to take over Labour Party said, I think Adamu Garba, so he said, our main objective is to withdraw the petition against the president-elect. Then we are going to do it. On the other hand, you have some places where the documents you need will not be seen. And you have some witnesses going to withdraw. What it actually means is that we may be expecting justice, but there's nothing for the election tribunal to work on. The pre-election trial moves can also come in other ways. They can disturb you in such a way that there is no time, because there's a time limit to file things. So where the time has expired due to the nuances of the winners, then there's nothing there. In simple language, the people will be disappointed because the people expect that the choice of the people will be the governor or the president. The tone is always set by the two leaders, the leading candidates. If one is conciliatory, the other one is ebullient, then there will be need to fight to the end. And there's no justice. There's nothing like draw. It's either a winner or a loser. Then if we have a magnanimous person who has been declared the winner, who is making efforts to reach out to the other people to say, we are going to run this together. Stay with me.
Now, people have been talking about the timelines for these actions, that all the matters should be dispensed with before a winner, and I'm doing winner in quotes, before the winner is sworn in. Not that the case is still going on, the winner is sworn in, and then he is told that he has lost and he has to pack his things and go back to his village or whatever. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, constitutionally, May 29 is the end of administration. So there's no way there will be a vacuum. And then the Electoral Act says within 180 days, this must be done, only in the first instance, not final. So, for instance, the presidential election, Peter Obi and Atiku have 180 days to do certain things. If the judgment comes in any way, whether for or against any of them, the losing party at the Court of Appeal also goes to the Supreme Court. So it's not just the 180 days. There's no way we have 180 days between today and May 29. It's impossible. Because the Constitution did not provide for anything other than elected government taking over. It's also talked of time to go on appeal and so on and so forth. But developments occur every day. I know that this issue of timing, length of time and so on, is something that has been coming up from time to time. There was a time the Supreme Court saw it as inhibiting the rights of a petitioner. They said we'll leave it open. Now it has been formed as 180 days. We still need to amend the Constitution to provide for, you cannot be sworn in unless the case has been dispensed with. In other words, all cases must be concluded before May 29 of the Supreme Court.
But that's hardly possible, is it?
It is possible if there is a will. For instance, INEC does not have to play what I will call Banlogo. In other words, dance left, dance right, and not sure of what they are doing. Election is concluded. Within 1 week, give everybody certified true copies of all the proceedings. During the election, 1 week. So there will be no issue of writing, applying. Remember, Labour had to go as a group to go and meet the chairman before he said, okay, I will do that, but you have to go to various states. And they went to various states. Only 2 responded. The other reason the Electoral Commissioner said, well, we don't have anything, you have to come back. And time was going. So if INEC does its own job within 1 week, petitioners have 1 week, respondents have 1 week, then they give 2 weeks. You get everything done.
Okay, Chief, what's going through my mind now? It's a funny scenario, and I want to share this. Okay, so the presidential election has held. Chief, you are declared the winner. I am a contender. I go to court. And then at the end of 180 days, and God knows another 180 days, when the Supreme Court will decide on the matter, Supreme Court now decides, sorry, Chief, we have evidence here that you actually lost the election, and Alero will now become the president. And wouldn't that be rather untidy?
No. If the system is right, in other words, if we value the system, it is the proper thing to do.
So sack Chief, and
the moment that signature is appended by the justice of the Supreme Court and judgment read, you're out. But in reality in Nigeria, the DG of DSS sees it as his job to protect the president from even other candidates. In other words, if I abuse the president-elect, they'll write down my name for investigation. If he becomes president, they will arrest me first and ask me questions later. The police IG knows that he salutes the president every day. So he sees me as the enemy of the state. So when I say where the system is correct, I mean the democracy is entrenched. In Nigeria, we walk in reverse. Destroy the democracy. And that is wrong.
Well, Chief, while these things that you're saying is of concern to many, the bigger concern for me is the entire process of election petitions. Now you and Mr. Abdullahi have spoken to what the laws say, what the processes should be and all of that. But it is one thing for justice to be done. See, Chief, you're laughing. It's another thing entirely for justice to be seen to have been done. Because there are some decisions that have been made and a number of people have had reason to to question in their minds. I think it was Chief Olisabaku that was also saying that, I mean, in response to my colleague Shola Shirley's question about what he thinks of the decisions of the courts. He said